So, well my friends, welcome to our top 5. But before we enter into the court, take a few minutes. It's a personal thing to me that we make a walk now. Watch, here we are at a nice football field, and you have to take the vibes now from here when we enter into this court. You know, we are a bit outside, but it is an area which is at the end of the city, complete at the other end, and our last rank, the rank 6 court, the airport court, and now we rank the top 5. You will see all of that, but join me. That is a place where I have been growing up, you know, but in this football field I was almost never in. But from here we walk one street down, you know, I don't get anything for that. I get no money for the videos, nothing, you know, all was for free. And so if you say, wow, no film, only the court, yeah, I understand that. But I get nothing, and that is a personal thing what I want to have one time in the video. And so I want to make this few minutes to walk this nice street to the court, you know, because that is really an absolute outstanding street to me. I cannot tell you why, maybe because I was growing up there, but I would say that is very special, because very, very beautiful, to me the most beautiful street in the city. And there are maybe one of the most people of them all, because the biggest houses, so many people, but there it is so quiet, you know. The combination of that is unbelievable. And I was, watch here again, the football field. And this is here since the 80s, you know. I know this place since the 80s, almost the same, you know. And here the area, that is the main street of that part of the town. In this church in front, there I was, how it is called when you are 1 year, you got, I don't know in English, the water on your face, you know. And now we walk in that street it is. And I traveled, you know, back then in 5 years, I traveled over 100 times, all by train from city to city. So I know a lot of cities, a lot of people, vibes. But here, that is one of the most beautiful ones what I know. And that is really unbelievable that there are so less people, you know. And now we move in. Watch at that. It's really, really nice. Sit back, enjoy those few minutes now what we walk down here, and then we enter in our top 5 spot, you know. And now that is really cool with those big houses here. And here I was growing up, you know, in the early 90s. And there are a lot of those old backyards, you know, the old backyard fields like here. They have so many green space, you know, like here where nothing is in. And here you were never allowed to play football, you know. Olf wanted to play football, but it was never allowed, you know. And that is a cool street, you know. You are only allowed to drive this. You are not allowed to drive back, only this. And it is almost the same, you know. Here almost nothing has changed. And they have everywhere, that is outstanding, you know. Everywhere kids places. Where do you get this nowadays? You get this multifunctional duel normally, where all is in one big complex and that is all. But here, that is really the early 90s style. You have all kids places, but no basketball ring, but those slides and those things, you know. And that is really cool. Like here, you see that? All green, you know. We are by the biggest houses, so many people, but they have built all of this, you know. Everywhere here you see such places, you know. And that is cool, you know, the 90s styles kids places, you know. But nowadays they are empty because the people want other stuff, you know. And here really, really cool. And you see here is a town where you have so many garages, you know. It's also, but I will tell something about this, because we made here a video in the garages, you know, where we entered in, you know, illegally, and there I wanted to throw the basketball to test them from the 5th etage, from the 5th floor, you know, from the stairs down, which ball jumps high and how far do they jump, because that we don't know. When we let it fall from such a height, we don't know, you know. And that is really relaxing. So we will come to the court, no worries. But here this is also that you see those vibes, what this area is, you know, then you have much more a feeling of the court, you know. And you see those are those big houses, they only made the color, but you see here also kids plays everywhere, you see them. That is amazing, you know. Absolutely amazing what they have done in the 90s, you know. And here, you know, we come to the next, there again. That is really the kids' paradise, or? But you see, there are almost no people. There live so many, but you don't see one. You see here again, small one, but green fields, because nowadays they make all other, you know. They never make green fields and this and that, no. Very relaxing. They're all garages, you see, all underground. That is such a big place here underground. And here you see for the next one, there is a next kids place. No one here, you know, you see. Also with those sand, those things. Very cool, you know. Now a bicycler comes, we make the round. And yeah, in the garages, these are so big complexes you cannot imagine. You go here from one house to another house and to the next house, all underground, you know. Can you imagine? From here, one house to the next, to the next, to the next. You can really all move underground. That is really, we have seen it. We had this one time on video, you know. It was 1.5 years ago, and now there are many cars. We move on here, and it's really, really cool. So once again, and don't worry, we will come to this, then we start it. But I want to have this on video, you know. One time I need the street complete on video, and also that was in the first video what I have made on YouTube. This street was also on the video, in the intro, you know. And here, watch that, that is also amazing. An old, how it is called, phone in English, you know. Watch that. Can you remember those? But these were back then the newer ones, you know. There were much older ones back then, but still here, you know. That is, you know, the younger people will not know that. They know only the mobile phones. But here you could phone to the world, you know. I made here calls to Italy and such things. And here, you know, there is also a big, I have showed it. That is the place we make the round here, because that is nice. There is an indoor thing. You know, I was growing up here, and you know, in the early 90s, in the 80s, 90s, that was not the best area from the vibes what people have told you, you know. That was like, boah, you live there, that is the toughest thing of them all. But you see, oh, doggy now, here is the Chinese restaurant, and that was also here in the late 80s, you know. There is the backside, and here when I worked I always came in here, you know. But we had to move to this side now, because here you see when the dog is away, dog watched, you know. Where is it? On there now. Yeah, but I show it from here, then you see it better. We have, wait, my bicycle, you know, I now know that there are now many people who will say, hey, there is no court, you know. Yeah, I get nothing for it, you know. I made almost all 700 videos, all for free, you know. And that is important to understand the vibes here from the basketball court. That is why I'm showing it, you know. And here you see, that was cool place here. And you watch, here is an own field, but here you don't see in, you know. Here you see it. And there I was growing up. There we made with the water slides, you know, with the water whistles we shot down, you know. And that was pretty cool. And you see how quiet that looks here, but so many people who live here, but still it's really, I don't know many areas where I was in the world where it is like here, you know. You see those big houses, they are one of the biggest in the whole town here by us, you know. These were the skyscrapers of my city. It's really, really amazing. 10 minutes now, but no problem to me, you know. And also on there, you know, there are all green fields, but there was no basketball field. There was the gangster court, you know. That was here, the gravel ground, you know. I always call it the gravel ground. Gangster court was here, the biggest. This still here, you know, the biggest court, no rings. You will hear the history then. And then my lovely court, which does not exist anymore. They have built then a beach volleyball court, but it's not far. Wait, and here we go also on. These were those legendary fields where you were allowed for nothing. You know, watch that place. That is, you know, and that is still here. And I will tell you why. Watch. There is only green field, perfect for playing something, you know, streetball court, whatever. Watch that nice view, or. But here are all garages here, and so they cannot build something new, you know. They, when they want to build something, they have to make all garages away underground, and that costs so much that they don't do it. And the people need to park here because there is nothing to park, and so that it is, you know. And now we move on. And don't worry, the court will come, you know. And that is one of the last areas where it looks like in the early 90s still, you know. It looks still like in the early 90s. All other places have changed, but not here, you know. And then you understand the vibes on the court, because on the court you have the same feeling like here in that street now. And that is also why I show you that. And watch, there are so many plants, you know. And you see, there walks no one. You almost don't see people. And here we made a video also, you know. Watch from here. That is really cool when you watch it. You know, the own entrances, you know. The houses. It's really, really cool, you know. That is, you know, here I was skateboarding, you know, in the early 90s. That was my first, the first skateboard and the second one. And here, you know, the stairs, they made this new. And here it was always forbidden to move out, you know, because here you came to the Chinese restaurant, but that was always closed and they always shouted, you know. And there's also a place, you will see it, you know, that was always forbidden to walk here, you know, you see it. Private ground, you never understood it, you know. But here is a way and there is another place. And so, yeah. But you see, very quiet, you know. Also those benches, is where the 90s style. Where do you see such things that people can sit here? And so that is the history which is still there, you know. And the vibes on the court, you know, the court is completely new. They built complete all new a few years ago, you will see that. But the vibes are still the same, you know. Watch, it is so quiet. You hear the birds here, you know, so many animals. That is also a thing, you know. Because here are so many trees and plants and on, that you are in the middle of the city by maybe the most people, and you have it so quiet. You hear that? That is unbelievable, you know. That is amazing. You see, there walks no one. Where are all the people? It's like a ghost town, you know. That is amazing. Thank you, thank you. You see how nice the people are? Extra waited for me. Where do you get this? And here you have the next place, you know, by the big house. There comes the next one, the 90s style kids place, but no basketball, you know. And you see, these were those old table tennis things, the stone table tennis, you know. I told you, as a 90s guy, basketball, asphalt, you know. Then tennis walls, asphalt, and also table tennis, you know. Also this was concrete asphalt, call it what you want, you know. You see how beautiful. And there was our old basketball court, and now this is the court where we also were in There the free running Schlappen made a video, you know, in there. Now it is a beach volleyball court from that side. You see? But there was the lovely basketball court. That was a cage, orange, 2 rings, but it was the most lovely court to me. And there was one football cage and one thing, but that was in the early 90s. And then, I don't know, in the early 2000s they have built all new here, the promenade, you know. But now we go on, you know, no problem. Long video again, but to me, you know, I don't get anything for that, you know, not 1 cent, nothing. Other words, I have to pay, you know, because of the music what I put in for the rights. So I only paid that I can be a YouTuber, you know, and the other ones get paid, and so I can do what I want, you know. And when I want to do this now, then I do it. And you should do the same. When you want something, then do it, you know, when it is correct, you know, and legal and good. You see, this is amazing. Hello. And so here we move into the next spot, and you will see that looks almost now the same. Also green grass, big field, but it is the next one, you know. And there also you were not allowed to play football. But here they have changed it, you know, you see. Such a big, beautiful place. You see that? But here they made now kids things. You see, they are the newer ones, you know. But there were also back then, you know, the old tables, you know. There you see, this is the 90s style. Those things, you know, completely other than nowadays, or? But you see, that is new, the background playground, but amazing, or? When you watch here, the big houses, really cool. And you see, there is so quiet, there is nothing. That is amazing. And you see it here, football playing forbidden everywhere. You know, in the early 90s, that was the style. Nowhere you were allowed to play football. They all hated football players. You know, and I played football very much as a kid, you know, and not in a club, but private, you know, and then everywhere they kicked you out, you know. Like then in the street ball, you know. So we go down. So, and now we come more closer to the end. But it's really beautiful here, I tell you that. There is one thing what they built completely new, and still is important because of the vibes, you know. When you see that, then that is amazing. So wait. So watch. These are the other houses, and now here you see it changes a bit. But here we have to go back near the garages, you know. I always loved the underground. That was because there, you know, in the 90s you could skate, you could play the basketball, you could play inline hockey, because no one was in there. And when it was raining or winter, you go in the garages underground and play there your sport. That was the thing in the 90s, you know. Now we are by the next complex, and here is the next place for kids, you know. And this is really amazing. But you see, there was nowhere a streetball court. Back then, there were all the slides and the things, you know. And here you see it. You see? There a kid is playing football like in the 90s, you know. The same we did. And then the people shouted from the floors, "Put away the football, put away the football." You see, alone. Bam, and the ball. Shoot it good, you know. That is still the same, you see. Very nice. But now we go out from here. And then they build a new complex. That is also nice, really spectacular. Now the people will blame me. Hey, what is that? There is no street ball, there is nothing. Well, we will come to that. But important to me, because when I make another video, you know, what shall I make? Video from here, room tour through a city. No, so we go out from here, and then you will watch now. That is the new thing. There it was also cool because there was an open garage later on, but before there were supermarkets in, you know. And that is complete other story than nowadays, you know. It was in the early 90s. And now that is an old people's house. The most beautiful one in the whole city is in that street. And you see here, you know, the complete own vibes, you know. Some people like that because they live in a complete other area in the world where buildings all is different, you know. And maybe that is also from back then, you know. The stones, you know, asphalt stones, concrete. And you know, they like it. They say to me, hey, wow, those vibes where you live, so cool. For us it looks complete different, you know. And that is really, really, you know, they enjoy that when they see that. Now we move in here. You have to watch that building, the old people's house. You know, I was many years in there also. Here the cat, you see that also. So here were a lot of cats. People had a lot of cats here, you know. And that is cool. And on there you have also a green field where you can walk. Now the birds are sitting on there. You see, they also enjoy the sun. And here the next kids' place. Wow, that is really nice and that looks really, really cool. But you see, there are no people. Where are the people? You know, watch. That is, you know. And from here, you know, from that street, you are almost there by the court. That is only a few more meters, then you are there. And then you know the vibes when you enter in to this court, how relaxing. Watch this. This is a modern building now, but it fits in perfect all to the other things. It is modern, but still this opening space with the plants, you know. And I will show you a picture. I tell you that. I know the room. And watch now. That is, wow. That looks really, with those things, or that it looks very, very big. I don't know how it watches on the camera, but that is maybe bigger than you see. And you can walk on there. That is all green, you know. That is an old people's house, you know. And here is a cafe where you can drink. You come here, you know, to sit outside, but also inside, you know. And there is only the river now, you know. There is not much anymore. And I mean, they have still made it, you know, that you have green plants. And here, you know, really, really nice, all for free, you know. Also here to walk, and there and bench, you know, to relax. And these are the vibes from that court, you know. I mean, the idea to sit here, to watch, to relax. And there is the court where I've shown you, where now is a beach volleyball court. And here you see those houses from the back side, how beautiful that looks. And here you have all spots where you can lay down to relax, to enjoy. And that is the feeling from the court what we have when we enter in. You see those wooden benches like here, you can lay on, you know, which is very, very nice. And also here you see it, you know, and here. And there you can also move down, you know, then you see the river. We make it from that side. And now the camera, wait, I have to change it, wait. So now I've changed the echo, we're still at the same spot, you know. And now we walk down here, that you see the river. And then we move on. It's so relaxing here, you know. And when you move into this court, you have all of those vibes. And now watch, oh, there is now, ooh, there are two doggies, no. Have you seen this? The Staffordshire Terrier, two. No. There I don't go, because they don't like the thing, you know. The dogs never like this overall, you know. They are irritated by that. But here you see, you have the beach, you know, to sit, to relax. You see it. That is really, really cool. Very nice, the river. And I show you a picture from the house, you know, that is one of the best views from the whole city where you can live. I have made in there, in the last etage, you know. Here in the, that was the 1, 2, 3, in the 5th etage, you know, the last. This is higher than this, and there on. And there you see to the city, to the mountain. Wow. The view is amazing, I guarantee you that. Watch it.
Estoy feliz, te verte feliz. Deseo todo lo bueno, aunque no esté ahí. Estoy feliz, te verte feliz. Mejor que ayer andamos,
Yeah, now you have seen it. That is amazing, huh? And here they have made so much, you know. And with those vibes you will enter into the streetball court, because you have the same relaxed feeling like here, you know. And if you don't know now this street, this complex, all what I've shown you now, you will never understand the feeling what you have in there, because people only see the board and the floor and they say bad floor or good floor and only the ring, you know. But you know, we don't play tournaments. Most of streetballers don't play tournaments. They want to relax, to have a nice time, and there it is also important if you have a nice court with good vibes or only a bad court with traffic, you know, depends what you like. But watch, that looks amazing, or the old people house. And here, you know, a big park, you know, they have made all new here. So relaxing, you know. I was often here. Very cool place for the kids, you know. All is here. But you see, there is almost no one here. The quiet place. So many people. Here I don't go back. There is another one, you know, kids place. And here are the table tennis tables, and on and on and on. You see, really, really nice made. You can make the human flag on the bars, you know. It's really, really cool. So you enjoy that when you walk here, or when you know, boy, now I come to the streetball court. You move here, then you are so relaxed, you know. And here are the old table tennis tables, you know. You see, these are the stone table tennis, 90s style, you know. And here is football, but we don't film it. There are now kids in, but this is a closed environment. That is cool. And in there, I played the molten ball, 1995. That was in that building. I show you the picture in there.
Estoy feliz de verte feliz. Deseo todo lo bueno, aunque no esté ahí, ahí. Estoy feliz de verte feliz. Mejor que ayer andamos, mi vida evolucionado. Y estoy feliz.
The only days in my life when I played indoor was exactly in there, you know. That was also cool, you know. We move on, but there are then, yeah, there are more kids then. But in there, that was really, really nice. But here, you know, there we came to the street again, and then we enter in the streetball court. And where we start the video, I've made it already. There is only a few meters from here now where it starts then, you know. But now the last meters on this nice track, very, very cool, you know. There are so many things, you know, the green things what you see here. I mean, it is so nice, the big houses, you know. These were the biggest in town. And these were the Olympic houses, because we had 2 Olympic winter games here, 2, you know. And they built all those buildings, you know. They were built for the Olympic athletes. They built a whole, because there was all fields, you know, there was nothing. And then they built all those buildings only for the Olympic athletes, you know. So here the best athletes in the world lived. That is the background to this, you know. So you see, relaxed, sporty, the vibes. Where do you get such things? I don't know many cities where you have this, you know. And you see, and all garages, around is all garages. I know them almost all, you know. And I mean, watch, it is amazing, or when you see that, to sit, to relax extra here. Where do you get this stuff, you know? When we move on here, that is really amazing, you know. The old floor, you know, the cobblestone floor, and you see that it's amazing. Between the big houses you have so much fields here to walk down, you see. Bam. That is really, really cool, you know. Here the place by the big houses, you know. And I was in many of those houses, you know. There were all people living back then. And now the school, you know, where I played basketball with the female basketball trainers back then. 2 female basketball trainers, you know. Very nice that was. with the molten ball. But I wanted to have my ball, the David Robinson Franklin ball, you know, from Franklin. And you see here the details to sit on there. Wow, that is amazing, you know. And here they cannot build anything because all there are the garages, the underground, you know. And then you cannot build a house on there, so they have to keep it. And that is the school, you know. And here it ends, you know, the last thing here. And then we enter in our court after so many minutes. But again, I don't get anything, you know. I wanted to make this and then I do that. I do always that what I want, you know. And you see, still quiet. Where are all the people? Where are they? You know, where are the people? Here the school, here is the entrance. And I remember exactly the day, 1995. We were standing in front there. My grandmother was also there. And then we moved in. And then the basketball session. It was in summer, but that I enjoyed really indoor. It was such a nice indoor hall. And here, you know, the last one with the houses, you know, another kids' place, you see. So, and now, with that vibes, enjoy the court now, and then we see us. So, well, my friends, here we go. Now, our top 5 courts. Now, the absolute best of the best. To me personally, that is important. That is my personal decision. You know, others would judge it completely other. But you will see, to me, the top 5 and why top 5. We made a ranking a few years ago, and there I had it other. And now this ranking is based for 2025. And those courts which come now, these I have played the most last year, and then you see that these are my lovely courts. Now watch. Here we are, first of all, then you see the area also, that you can imagine a little bit, the water slides, you know, I was in there very often. That was a time when social media was not there, you know, and there I had a camcorder and I filmed in the water slides and on and on. No one has filmed, every people watched in the big camcorder, but that you see it here, how nice it is, that you can imagine the court. And now we drive in. Our number 5, top 5 courts is the Strange Court. So now tell me, watch that view, that is absolutely amazing. 1, 2, bam. And we are complete beside of the court now. And then the other side, watch that. Absolutely amazing, or? Very, very nice. So, and now we drive in. We have a lot of sports also here, which you would not see normally, you know. Wait, I have my bicycle. Because normally we are only in the court, but here also a big complex. But when you have seen the last video, the airport court, that is on the complete other side of the mountain there, you know. So we are at the other end of the city now. And here you see what all is there. Wait, that is pretty nice. So football field, watch. They have built all new here. A few years ago, everything was made new, you know, with tribune and whole sports complex. In the background is also, if you know this big house, I have shown you that often times, that was or is still the biggest house in Innsbruck, you know. And there is the biggest court where no basketball courts are anymore. Then you know, because here they have built the sports complex, and that is the reason why I think they have put away the rings, because they say now you can play here basketball, you know. That is a background story what I think. And in there, you know, that is also a sports complex. You see? And there is in, well, I was never in there, but I have met one who trained here for the gymnastics. You know, there is, I think, one of the most modern indoor athletic things in there, you know, what they have built for the whole country, you know. And you see sport centrum, you know, and when you read that, you see that sport centrum, that means the center, you know, but the room, R-U-M, you know, that is because the area where we are is called room, you know, and that sport centrum, room, you know, with restaurant, football, very nice, you know, with the tribune, bam, you know. And there is also another thing I show you from the backside, and then we make the round and enter in. Very, very nice, you know. When I was growing up here, there was nothing, there were only fields. In the late 80s, early 90s, you know, there is all new. And there is another football field, you know. We are the football field. You see, all those houses, they were all not here, you know. And here is another football field. You see that? Watch. Absolutely amazing, or that is the other one. And behind, you see, there is the complex where we have to go now, to our streetball court, you know. And by those houses behind, there is a physiotherapy, what we have last year discovered, and they have a basketball board and ring. Was it a Spalding? Boy, I cannot remember now. And there you can play basketball in physiotherapy. I mean, that is amazing. And here you see, there is the track, the outdoor track. And here you can run. But inside, you know, there is one of the most modern for athletic what I know. And I have met one who was in the Olympic, in the national team of the country. And there was also the influencers, Sascha Huber was also in there making a video with them, you know. And now we drive in, and that is very beautiful. They built a skate plaza, you know. There were old skate ramps in, and the skate ramps were from the metro. There I made a video, a skateboard video, and those old ramps they put in here, but then they built a skate plaza. Very beautiful. We also made a skateboard video from that skate plaza, you know. That was cool. Me, as a Michael Jordan not fan, I had the dress of Chicago on, you know, and I made the skateboard video. And now here is for ice, for the like curling in summer, I don't know how it is called. And now here we drive in. From here we came, you know, and now you will see the beautiful area, the strange court, and why the name I will tell you also. And now Airari doggies, the dog is now, watch, very nice, or the skate plaza. It's really a beautiful one, very smooth, you know. The ramps are so smooth. We had in the early 90s those wooden ramps, you know, they were so loud. And so here we are. So you see, we have water here. Very cool, or? And here to go up to the tribune, you know, for the football fields beside. You see the football fields. And now here we are, we enter in. Here you see for the bicycle to load them up, you know. And now welcome to the strange court, and the name is program, but I will show you that. Watch here, beautiful kids place, you know. Wait, I have to go up from the bicycle that I don't fall off. That happened last year. Hurted my shoulder back then. Watch, beautiful, nice kids place, you know. And now here we are. Here is the entrance in our top 5 court, you know. Oh, now they have changed something. Opening times. Wow. And that is why I called this court the strange court. That was one of the last courts in our last ranking, you know. And so it leveled up to the best of the best, but that has a reason. And now, no, watch now. Oh, it is open. Wow, that is great, you know. Animals not allowed. And you know, that is the first detail that you have to see. Watch I did. I don't know any other court with that thing that you can enter in or not. You see that? And that was the problem back then, but we will come to this. What has changed and now? Wow. An own complex, you know, own door, now it is closed. And so here we are, watch. Our top 5, the strange court. You see, a cage court, rubber, and we are in a closed environment. And now you see what you have not seen, the whole sports complex here where we are, because here is now the second football field, you know, what you have seen. And here we have also beach volleyball, but all in the closed environment. Watch. And that is really, really beautiful. And here with that tribune, you know, we have here the shower, but we will come to all of this. And here we are. Wait, the view from on here now. 1, 2, bam. That is a cool place, or? Wow, watch that panorama. That is amazing. And so here we are. Our top 5 court, the strange court. Wow. Now we enter in, we have an own door, and then I show you all of that, you know. So here we go in, like in a hockey field, you know, you close it, wow. And so now watch, it's a very big place, you know, you have enough space. And here the lines, when you see them in other courts, you think, ah, that is the same. No, here that is really, really far, where you can go also on the outside, you know, much more than on other courts. And you have the 3-point line, you know, a middle line, and you have the basketball boards, an own cage and floor, you know. And that is a bit similar to our old traditional 90 courts, you know, the red one, but they have made this new. That was built, I have to lie now, that was, I cannot say it now, 2018, 17, 19, around that time, you know, or a little bit. Now I don't have it in my head, but I have seen the progress when they started all of that, you know. And now watch, we have light there, you know. Normally you have light on the outside courts, but I was never there when the light was on, you know. And so we have this floor, and that is a smooth one, but we have a little bit of the granulate in. You see that? Wait, those things. And so when you have that in, be careful, because here you can slip out. So here, that is a downside, you know. To slip out happened to me, especially when it is wet, very slippery. But those things is always the danger if you don't know that. You think, boy, it's great, you know, but on some areas there are nothing of those. So when you then want to slide, you cannot, because boom, you know, you stick on it. And when there are areas where it's too much of this in, then it is so slippery that you slip out and you don't see it that fast, you know. So here to run is not the best option. We come to the downsides. Then what I see right now, or what you see right now in better words, you cannot jump very good here, because here there is no space behind, you know. That is always the first thing what you should watch, because when you see here the board, and that is only, watch from my feet here, that is 1, 2 lengths of my shoes where you can jump. And here is the thing, you know, I'm 180 and these are so much. So to run and jump is not the best option, you know. And also to make it quick is also not the best option. These are now the downsides. And why was it a strange court? Strange court because it was so strange here. This was always closed. I was so often here closed, sometimes open, closed, and you didn't read something, nothing. And then the board were damaged. They were completely broken out, you know. That was, I don't know what there happened. Both, you know, like an LKW was ramming them. And then later on, the ring was not here anymore, was completely away. And then they have changed it, you know. And now, because of that reason, because now it is playable. And now watch the positive things. Very big space, you know. Then a really good ring, you know. You see there is the kilo on, 80 kilo, I don't know. These are 190 pounds around, or what stands on the ring. The board is nice, it's not the biggest, but it's really nice to play. Yeah, we have an iron net. This iron net is not the absolute best. Here it is a little bit out, you know, but before there was a net. But the nets always get destroyed because the people hang on, you know, and that is the reason why I or some don't like the normal nets, because they get always damaged. And here is also broken out, you know, but the iron nets, they are most of the time better. Then we have here the things, and here nothing can happen to the ball, you know. Yeah, it is a bit sharp, but I got no scratch in here, you know, and that is an own metal construction, you know. And on is a net, you know, the ball never fall out to me, but one time it was hanging in there. Then you have to need another ball, or in winter we took the snowball and throw the snowball on there that the ball falls out, you know. The construction, you see, is a little bit damaged. That is not the best made, so, you know, it's not that stable, you know. They have made it back then with own ropes, that it is more solid, you know. They had to make an own rope in there. I'll show you that, but the rope is not there anymore from the climbers, those really heavy ropes, you know, and that was in there, that it is more solid, you know. So, but you see, absolutely a great big space. You can bring the best balls. I've played them here, and to me the court was so nice that I played Sylvester, you know, the last day of the year in 2024. I played here, you know. I could choose every court, but I wanted to come here. And now you see what I love here, the out view, you know. Watch that great out view that is so amazing and relaxing. Then you have the nice environment with skateboarders, you know. 90s guy was skateboarding and streetball. Here we have it, a friendly area for kids, sports people. You are outside. Here a nice beach volleyball court, and that reminds you about a holiday beach, you know, the like the sea beside, and that is amazing, you know. And then there is nothing. This is the end of the city. There are only fields, and the next houses. This is not the city anymore. That is the next city, you know, the small city. And here all is closed. Only the ball can sometimes fall out, but you know, also sand is not that much in, you know, because it is closed and with the wall. And here, because it's an enclosed environment where they lock up, it is always clean, you know, very nice. Then you have a shower here, you know, for the people. Also look at that, it is like in a club, you know. When you see that, you have to know that it's all for free, and watch that how that looks. I mean, boah, sometimes in clubs you don't get such beautiful things, or. And then the nice beach volleyball court, you know. And that is really clean, you see that, that is, wow, real sand. There is nothing in, you know, because most of the times you have dirt in, cans in, and from the trees, and here are no trees, there falls nothing in, you know. And here the tool, and here to sit on. And then when you are here, we made videos also from dribbling here, and when you watch that panorama now, watch, that is so relaxing, or. And here, you know, what I also like, you see to the other side of the mountains. Normally, we are always in the city and to the other mountains, you know. But here, this is the side of the mountains, which I normally don't like that much. You have seen all my outside courts, that direction and that. But here, you see, you will not see it now on the camera maybe. Not this mountain, not those. There is between a very small one that is so far away. You know, over those mountains, you see a very small one. And there is Stonewall Court, the most far away court of them all. And I see to the Stonewall, you know, that is, wow, there you need the whole day to drive with bicycle, you know, to make it in one day. And I see it from here, and that is great, you know. And here the football field, and you know, wow, watch that, it is a panorama to play, to relax. And you have this all for you alone. You know, like now, it is nice weather, you know, and you have it all for you alone. And to play here, that is fantastic. And strange court, your name is still the same. Back then you could never play, it was damaged, but now playable, and now, wow, amazing, you know. That is an absolutely cool place. I mostly play this side, you know. And also a thing is the sun, you know, because sometimes on free courts, like if the ring would be now on that side, you would watch in the sun. But here I don't have the problem. So when you throw from here, you don't watch in the sun, you know. And that is also amazing, you know. And so I enjoy it here very, very much. Closed environment, very nice, you know. The beach, the feeling like you are on the beach on holiday. You have a big space. You can bring the best ball. Nothing can happen. The ball cannot fall out. Only here, but you can jump over. You have it quickly. Only nice people, and there is no other one. There are no travelers, passengers, because here you drive to the next area of the federal state, you know. And that is absolutely amazing. So that is why it is my number 5 court in 2025, you know, with a nice floor. But you have to adjust to it, as I told you. Don't run too fast and don't jump. But every court has some special things, and that it is here. But you know, 3-pointers to relax. And really, I come here most of the time in the morning to midday, also midday around, and then that is absolutely mind-blowing. Here it is so quiet because you are outside of the city. You don't hear the cars, you don't hear anything, because over that there is the river, you know, what I've shown you last time. There is river and there is nothing anymore, you know. And that is absolutely, wow, complete alone and home field with that panorama of the mountains. On that side you see the Stonewall Court, you know, because I have a connection, the last court of them all, where I see, wow, when you know you are there, so far you need, I don't know, this were 8 hours to drive with bicycle, you know, for or more for both to come there with the mountain bike and back, you know, and you see that, and that is, wow. And that is absolutely amazing. On the other side you see the biggest house in town, you know, if it's still, I cannot say, but for decades the highest house, and still you are so quiet here. That is amazing, you know. Then you have the water to drink, you know, you can watch the skateboarders, everything there, you know. And to play really, really good, you know. The height is good of the ring, you have the 3-point lines, very, very nice. So, and that is our rank 5 to me, our top 5 courts, and then be surprised for the top 4. We see us until then, bye and ciao.
And I always do it big because I can.